Holy machine, we are live. Welcome to the Chain Dogs podcast, where we talk about everything theme parks, roller coasters, amusement parks from all over the world. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are listening to this on podcast form, just to let you know, we do this every Wednesday live at 8 p.m. over on the Chain Dogs podcast YouTube channel. So yeah, come join us, get involved in the chat. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Sean. Have some respect.
Oh, we're going to do some great machines today. Some beautiful machines. It's called a ride, mate. It's called a ride.
Grow up, Sean. Grow up.
So how are you all doing? We all doing good?
I was good.
I'm slightly confused, but yeah, I'm good.
Great. We'll tell you that. We'll tell you later. Yes. So thank you. Let's just take a look in the chat. So who we got? We got Tom. We got Kira. We got Ben. We got Laura. We got CB Vlogs. We've got Neil. We've got Joe. Hello. We got Matt. We got Tom. We got Bart in the chat. We got
John, long-time podcast listener, lurker. I'm going to try and get more involved. Nice.
Big up the lurkers.
Big up the lurkers.
Hello.
Yeah. So, like I say, we all good?
Outside the right ride in that photo.
Represent.
Yeah. I'm just going to apologise. I'm very tired. It's been
burnout
at the weekend.
After excuse.
I know.
It's been like 5 days, man. 5 days camping in a very hot field.
Get a grip.
A hot field.
Yeah, we'll see how you're like after your camping trip, shall we, Emma? We'll see how you hold up.
I'll be full of beans, mate, because I'm an adult and I get on with this.
And
you know,
I'm just
what
tired.
did you buy?
I'm here, aren't I? What did I buy?
Yeah, she bought a sturdy camping chair.
Oh, sturdy camping chair.
I'm all set, mate.
That back will be properly supported.
Yeah,
exactly. No lower back issues forever.
Leaning naps. Like the Pleasure Beach naps that go on.
Oh yes. So first of all, let's say a big congratulations to Top Full Tourists. Well done, Emma and Carl and Vix and Jack.
Yeah.
And
they have got to 2,000 subscribers. Well done.
Congratulations, mate. How do you feel?
Accomplished. It's taken us a hell of a long time to get from 1 to 2,000 subscribers, I'm telling you. But we got there in the end. So thank you, everybody who's subscribed.
You've been proper killing it recently. It's really cool. It is really cool to see. I love it.
All those machines.
All them beautiful machines.
Them machines.
Performing at optimum efficiency. That's what we like to see.
Yeah. The plan is working. Well done. But no, seriously, well done. It's a big accomplishment. So
massive.
I feel like that's a backhanded compliment there, Sean.
No, good. No, congrats. Seriously, like,
congrats.
Congrats. 2,000. That's cute. That's cute.
Yeah.
I'm only on 3. Like, we're only on like just over 3.
We're only on 3.
We don't post. That's about the machines.
You only don't ride the machines because you can't handle the machines. That's why.
No, I didn't have to take sickness pills, mate. I'm good. I can still do it.
Mate, sickness pills, bring in the subs. Shut your mouth.
It's all coming out now.
Wow. Pulling back the curtain.
I take that all back now.
No, you've already said it.
No, congratulations to you.
Remote.
Let us know in the comments.
So let's crack on with the news.
Let's do that.
So yeah, first of all, Wallaby Belgium we've seen these plans that have been approved for a new launch coaster. Who knows more about this? Because I don't know that much.
Indeed.
I just want to know where it's going to go.
I'm just trying to find where in our chat it was. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, so I knew nothing about this. But apparently, yeah, it's gonna be like just a family multi-launch coaster that's gonna have 3 launches, a top speed. I'm just reading what I've seen on Discord. It's gonna have a length of 925 meters, a max speed of 65 kilometers per hour, 3 trains of 5 cars and 20 riders per train, which is gonna work out to have like a theoretical hourly capacity of 1,250.
Quick
Okay.
maths.
But it's supposed to be able to move a good few people. And I think just looking from the images that I've seen, it looks like it would be that does look like a lot like the same kind of clearance envelope that Intamin uses on their plans. So it could.
Gecko Gamer said, I believe it's a ghost.
Yeah, like there's reason to believe it could be an Intamin or a Gerstlauer or potentially like a Ziera or something. I think Intamin and Gerstlauer are the two.
Could it not be Vekoma, like Big Bear Mountain?
Oh yeah, I heard that as well. Yeah.
That'd be sick if it was. Like Big Bear Mountain looks well good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Vekoma Jr. Yeah, like whether it's gonna be like a like a motorbike sort of position on the trains.
Or I hope not.
Remains to be seen. But yet the 20 passengers per train on 5 cars is interesting, because then that tells me that there's going to be 4 passengers per car, which makes me wonder like what the trains are going to be like, because that doesn't say like straddle coaster trains to me.
Thank God.
So,
but it means like
you might be safe
like
it's going to be no to booster backs is crazy.
It's going to be themed up. It's
sorry, Sean, go on.
The area is going to be like a dockyard theme, we believe.
Yeah.
Speedboats.
And it means it's going to be by Psych Underground. And so here's like obviously some concept art of the area.
It's the Shark Hotel at Thorpe, what it should have been.
Literally.
They're going to re-theme up Psych Underground as well, which is like the 100th re-theme. That
I was going to say,
right.
it's just a re-theme, right? They're not fucking with the ride, because Psych Underground is elite.
Yeah, it's
Don't
good.
fuck with it.
It's really, really cool. But yeah,
there's
so
somewhere
it's
that it's supposed to be going back to a theme
SketchUp
had before one time.
I love that.
Really?
And
is that
like it says turbine on one of those buildings on the concept art. And didn't it used to be called turbine, or
that could be just like a little
way or something?
Shout out to it or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'll have a look.
But yeah, like it showed on some other images that I don't know if we have, but like a lot of the layout is supposed to be going like over water. There's supposed to be like a lot of water around that area.
Definitely,
so like it'll work well with the theming ideas that they have here.
Oh, Mikhail, I wonder if it could be like that jet ski ride that opened up at SeaWorld. Was it San Antonio?
Yeah, so that's a SeaWorld San Diego.
San Diego, that was it.
Yeah, so like that's the kind of if straddle coaster is the term they want to use for it, then that's the one I was thinking of. But that's 2 passengers per car.
Right.
In the train. Yeah. Where, I mean, if this information is true, if it's 5 cars per train, that would be 4 passengers per car. But I don't know.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Looks pretty cool though. Exciting. Yeah. New edition.
Fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There we have it. So next up we have. Let me just see actually what people are saying in the chat. Psych Underground is a bucket list. I say that with confidence. It is a great, like, it's really
so good.
It's way better than I thought it was gonna be. Like,
it's simple yet effective. It's just good.
It did used to be called Turbine, but I think what we were looking for is if it used to have that theme. It definitely used to be called Turbine. Psych Underground was good. Psych would probably go back to the old name. Could be, yeah. But I hope it still has like the same like rave type of thing, because that was like kind of what made it.
That was fun.
Bart said the area will be named Dock World. Some rides are being rethemed.
I think they could have tried a bit harder than Dock World.
Dock World.
It sounds like it's like a boat
It's like
shop.
they've sat there in a meeting and they've gone, right, it's going to be like a dockyard theme. What can we call it? Dock World. Sold.
It could be like lost in translation though. That could sound way better in I don't know what is it. Is it French? I think they speak French, mainly French, don't they? In that part of Belgium.
I couldn't figure it out
because it's
so
French.
Many languages.
It's
I'm
Flemish,
pretty sure,
isn't it?
Flemish.
No, you've got like
French.
What?
Flemish and French, isn't it? I believe.
Well, no, you have half of the country speak like Dutch, half speak French, and then there's like an in between thing. But
what the fuck was that?
What was that noise? That was
my computer had a fart.
Oh, right.
Fair.
So yeah, there we go.
Ben says La Dock World.
La Dock World. Potentially, yes.
It works, mate. It works.
All right, Gecko, give us a chance, man. We're getting through the news, man.
On the list. Chill out.
On the list, man. Go with the flow.
We don't have a producer. We don't do that.
Ride the wave.
So, yeah.
Shout out to Vix in the chat. She's made it. She's not asleep. That's her first.
Oh, well
done, Vix. You've missed me being bullied. Woo! Where were you to back me up, Victoria?
Yeah. You're the bully, mate. You are the bully.
Yeah, okay. Mate, it's on camera.
Camera, mate.
Anyway.
It's on camera. I was like, we've got receipts. Sure.
We've got loads of receipts of you, Emma. Don't worry.
Are we playing that game?
Yeah, we are.
I'll bring all the receipts.
For can't we just leave?
Yeah, just let them go at it.
Just head out.
I've got
Jerry.
I went to join the chat.
You know what I've done? She's on one.
Getting Larry.
So unfortunately, we need to obviously talk a bit about some bad news, which is Grona Lund. Yeah. We don't really want to go into we don't tend to go into too much detail about these sort of things because it's pretty fresh information. You know, the authorities and what have you will be doing all the relevant investigating and things like that. But you know, obviously, we just want to say our condolences. We can go online and just I don't know, kind of talk about what could have gone wrong or who's to blame and this and that. But at the end of the day, someone's lost a life.
Yeah.
And there's the family behind that. So we're going to respect that and just say, I'm sorry to hear that, really. Don't know if anyone else wants to say anything.
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head. We're not here to speculate at the end of the day. So just wanted to touch on it and send our love and condolences, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. In the future, if something else does come about, then we'll obviously go back over it. But okay.
There's the two Mikhails.
Mikhail, calm down.
What is going on? It's really weird.
What's happening? All right, there he is.
Okay, there we
go. All right, are we good?
There was two of you, bro.
Are we good?
Don't worry.
You Loki did.
Right.
You just went Loki all on us. I
don't know what the hell just happened.
That was weird.
I felt myself phase out of my body, and there was another Mikhail in the room, and so I had to shut the camera off.
Okay.
No one needs to see that.
Jack said, "No love for me after all I've done for you, Emma."
I love you, Jackie. Calm down.
I mean, that's literally the first comment you've put, I think, Jack. So we don't know who we're in, mate.
Yes, Jack. That's the analytics, bro.
Mikhail cloning device. There we are.
I literally have no idea what my internet just went super weird. Like everything, like my browser shut off. But I'm back.
So next up, we have Emerald Park have released concept images of their new land and their two coasters that will fit inside that land. There's also a track being spotted on site as well, I believe.
Oh,
so it's all going ahead. So if I can,
what's the new area called, Sean?
The new.
I'm glad you asked him that.
It's called Tiernanog, and that is how you
Is
pronounce it.
that how you pronounce it?
Is that
I was
actually how
like-
you pronounce it?
I'm sat there like Tiernanog. I don't get it. It's like,
Tiernanog.
Tiernanog.
it's like German Gurdenberger all over again. I can't get the head around it.
So
Burger
it's Gaelic for land of eternal youth or
Makes
land
sense.
of youth.
Oh, you were just
it's-
waiting for someone to ask you. You're so proud. Like,
But he had it written
practicing
down.
that.
it's
It was
actual-
literally
it's
at
been practiced.
Glastonbury, like on a microphone somewhere, on a megaphone, just shouting it out to everyone.
No, mate, I'm just that clever. I just knew
just
how
that-
to do it.
Okay.
Just that worldly travel.
Anyone notice our Shaw's come back from
He was practicing it on the selfie camera on his phone in the tent.
What you said about an attitude problem?
Sean was at Glastonbury telling everybody how Chapass is now a cred, apparently. So Sean's been telling everyone that just to up his cred count that extra little bit more.
I mean, Chapass is great.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it kind of is a cred. Let's be honest.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, I've already counted it as a cred. Is no one else?
Of course you have.
Well, no one else has counted it as a cred.
Chapass. It's a long flume.
It coasts.
Oh,
No,
so
get
do a
out.
lot of
It's-
things.
What? It coasts though. What are you on about?
I'm not biting.
So
Go
do-
home, Sean.
So did my car when I took my foot off the brake. Don't count that cred.
I've got that cred.
But
I got that cred.
everyone's counted the Great Yarmouth snails, though, haven't they? And that's definitely not a coaster.
The Joyland ones, yeah. Even though the Yacht
the
Club
exact
Beach
same
ones
ones.
should be on there as well.
Yeah.
In fact, more so. But
Yeah.
I'm not getting into it.
We need to do an
Um,
episode on what are creds. That would
Coast
be
to Cat will be
hilarious.
getting a wordy.
Oh, we
letter off
absolutely
Emma.
do not.
Just
No,
for
we
the
do not.
comments, it'd be great. Just for the chat banter, it'd be fantastic.
Luke, Jack likes your Valkyria cap.
Yeah,
By the
appreciate
way.
that. It was, got it on the trip.
So going back to this, right?
Like
So
€12 something.
here's
There
some
you go.
concept art.
I will say that
so
looks really nice.
it looks nice. So this is the boomerang, isn't it?
Hmm.
And the red track behind it is the suspended coaster.
STC, is it?
Yeah.
I've not read into it. Is it just a normal suspended family coaster, or is it one of the suspended thrill coasters?
It's a thrill coaster, I think.
Oh, so it's a
Yeah,
upside down
yeah.
one. Okay.
But here's like a model of the land. Oh, well, mainly the suspended STC. Sorry.
I literally just saw that before I got on the chat.
Yeah, so I saw this off breakingnews.ie, which is an Irish site, and I'm going to bring up a video.
Oh, video. VT. Roll that VT.
Hopefully it won't be too loud. I'll try and just turn the music off, actually.
So prepare your ears.
A new world is coming to Emerald Park. In a world.
Oh, look, it's no
Yeah,
limits. If only there was a
that's
render
fine,
company
man.
out there that could do it in Unreal for them.
There you go. Plug it out, mate. Don't say that. That's so weird.
Yeah,
No!
please don't include that. Please don't include that.
Oh, what the fuck did you just do?
Or do it. You don't know what they're into.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
We're not here to
STC,
kink
bro.
shame. Come on.
Come
no
on.
king shame.
Anyway,
Terrible.
so that's that. So does anyone know anything else about it? Because I can read it just straight off this site.
No.
To be fair, all I know about that whole area thing is that like this is a long time coming in it, because I remember a few years ago, didn't they have complaints from residents nearby about the noise it was causing stuff, and then that stopped the planning.
Oh, yeah,
process.
shit. Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah, they said literally
they
you
had
can't
to
build it.
come up with ways to stop the noise because everyone was going fucking nuts, because apparently Cuckoo Lane doesn't make enough noise. So, you know,
Yeah.
there was a whole thing. So I don't know what they've done to kind of combat these noise issues, but obviously they have. But what are we doing, Mikhail? It's the fact that one's talking and one's not. It's freaking me out.
I need to get the right one. There we go. I just won't put it in. So it says the larger of the two will be a suspended thrill coaster with the track running overhead, measuring 750 meters in length and peaking at 32 meters in height. The ride will reach speeds of up to 90 kilometers an hour. And the second will be a family boomerang, described as a more family-friendly riding experience. The 450-meter ride will have the highest track point of 25 meters and reach speeds of 60 kilometers an hour. So yeah, it's going to create 40 new jobs. It's going to have loads of catering, shops and things like that. So it's going to be a full new area.
Yeah.
It's going to be massive.
They're going down the themed route as well, because from what I've not been to Emerald Park, but from what I've seen, it's not a massively themed park. Well, is there? There's not really a lot of theming, so it's nice to see them create a whole new area rather than just plonking these two new rides in.
Yeah, I hope it looks as good as the concept art. Like they add all the vines and the ivy and stuff like that to the rock work. I think it'd be really cool if they do that. If they don't, it's just going to be a bit flat. So I hope they just pull it all together. I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. Let's put it that way. And then STC, yeah, I've always wanted to ride one, because I've not ridden one yet, and I really want to feel the difference. Yeah, the new ones and not ridden one. So.
As Phil Pix pointed out, the other one is at Tripster. There's only one other one, but I remember when that came out, and it looks
good.
It looks good, and I think people were saying when they've ridden it, it's not super. It's not super intense. It's just like quite fun.
Yeah, it's mostly just a fun experience.
Yeah,
which is what you want, really.
For that market, definitely. But yeah, so that's really interesting. But it's just exciting to see, like, a park like Ireland's only theme park, really. I think I mean the only other coaster they had. I mean that thing's I can't remember what it was at now, but they closed down.
Barry's. It was called Barry's, and then they've reopened it again, like under a new owner. They had a Revachon spinning mouse, I'm sure it was, and a wacky worm.
Yeah.
So it's nice, like you said.
And it's good because of this whole name change as well from Tato to Emerald. It means now, I remember it was talking about it before, and they were saying one of the big reasons for changing the name from Tato to Emerald was now they can actually advertise to other countries and go not just in there, in Ireland. So it's going to be brilliant for them when they get this open. They can really make a big marketing push towards it. So, and obviously that then brings in more investors into the park to create more areas like this. So
yeah, it's give them their own identity back, so to speak, hasn't it? Because when it was Tato, everyone was just like crisps. Factory. I mean, I'm not mad. Crisps are my favorite food. I was down.
Yeah,
but it gives them their own identity now. They can brand themselves better. They can market themselves better.
And we'll have Easter eggs in the shop. Just have Tato crisps, everyone.
When I go and there is no sign of a crisp, I'm going to be mad.
Imagine they just banned crisps, like an entry. Like your bag gets set. No crisp, mate.
No crisp.
Fucking past all that shit. Let's move on.
Not today. Not today, lads.
Not today. We've got STC now. Come on.
So that's that. So next up we have Universal Studios. Project 409. I don't know much.
Right then.
Go on, Mikhail.
Now this is interesting to me.
Yes, it is.
Because it's been in the rumor mill for a little while now that Universal Studios Hollywood was going to get a pretty sizable roller coaster themed to Fast and Furious. And we saw some concept art from it. I can't remember how long ago that showed a spike
and a spinning car.
With spinning cars on it. Well, spinning or drifting, drifting cars.
Yeah.
So like there was a lot of just questions being raised about like what kind of ride it was, what kind of coaster it was going to be, like what the layout was going to be, who was going to be manufacturing it, etc., etc. These plans that have just come to light in the past week seem to have done away with that spike in spike altogether. and gone with a, I guess, more traditional sort of block setup in terms of the entire layout, in the sense that it is full circuit. Well, these plans show a full circuit roller coaster with a dual loading station, which is really fucking interesting to me. But then I'm counting 4 launches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 of which are in real close proximity to each other. It seems like it, like comes down like off of a ravine and then goes through a dive loop, and then another launch like after that, where it's like the out and back period of the layout. And then there's also a mid-course brake run in there.
Yeah.
Which is certainly a choice. Like,
it's just
for
capacity, that, isn't it?
For a multi-launch coaster. Yeah, but with 4 launches,
yeah,
and like
you would think.
Yeah, what I mean, I can't think of another multi-launch coaster that has a mid-course brake run in the middle of it.
Only thing I can think with that is potentially story-driven with whatever is included with the ride itself.
That's what I'm thinking / hoping. To be honest, but yeah, it seems like the idea of Universal Studios Hollywood getting this really big multi-launch roller coaster to like supposedly rival Velocicoaster is becoming more and more of a certainty now. And it's most likely going to be themed to Fast and Furious, so immediately it's going to be better than Fast and Furious Supercharged, thank God. And yeah, like it's just interesting that they've decided to. It seems like these plans, judging by these plans, they've decided to go away from the spike. So like what kind of story elements are going to be involved in the ride? Is it going to include, these drifting cars that we've been hearing rumors about? Like, how are Intamin gonna? So the manufacturer is supposed to be Intamin.
It looks like Intamin.
Yeah, how are they going to incorporate those kind of ride vehicles into this ride experience? Which, I mean, if they're working with Universal, they'll find a way to do it tastefully.
Maybe that's what the breaks for.
And yeah, I am very interested to see how this materializes into whatever it, ends up being. If I remember correctly, there's already the land in the park. Like, it's already started to be worked on. The project is already underway.
Yeah. There's walls up.
I might be wrong on that, but I think that's the case.
Have you got the terrain one, the picture before you put up, Sean? Because it looks like it. So it goes over the fucking escalator. Apparently.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
so it goes over and under it.
Yeah. Which is mental.
Confused. Whereabouts is this in the park? And I thought this was like that's not Springfield. That's not Springfield there.
Yeah, that looks like the crusty.
Yeah.
It's
But it's like,
so what escalator is that?
There's it's the escalator that goes onto the upper lot where
oh yeah, of course, yeah.
That view though, looking down
there.
Wow, that's
it's
mental.
It's like literally right on the hill in between both areas of the park, which is really fucking cool.
Is that the tram path that it takes for the backlot tour? The road that's behind it.
I actually have. What you mean? You mean the road like that's that goes through the middle of the layout? I don't know.
That'd be so awesome. Because you get a view on the tram tour then of something completely different. It's another reason to go on it.
Or maybe the backlot tour it takes the road like on the other side of that figure 8 bit.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, at the top bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because if that's the case, then that's the view you get from one of the really high points on that tour that I've seen. And if it's on that hill that I'm thinking of, wow. That is incredible.
Where the fuck?
That is really incredible. Someone needs to do a video. I know Harry's in the chat of where it's going to go.
Well, Harry said, "I'd love to see this map to the terrain. I'm sure the layout makes a lot more sense then." Which is probably true.
But I'm liking the internet.
Yeah. Okay.
It, though.
If the train design doesn't have Vin Diesel's face in the front saying "family," all right.
Yeah,
and it's looking slightly off as well, like Wildcat's Revenge. It's like slightly off.
My card's ready, I guess. So, in addition to that, Intim305 on YouTube. So he has created a sort of pre-creation of the layout in No Limits. I literally saw it like last night or something.
Right.
I should have linked it, but I'll throw it in. I'll throw it in our chats, Sean, if you want to have a quick look at it. But
it's like,
and I don't know if obviously I don't know if it will be, like completely true to this layout or not. But the idea looks really, really cool.
I don't know if
the idea behind
it, but we'll see. How's that?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, there's a POV in there as well, and yeah,
it's actually used
like
map
just
as well.
Yeah, so Harry was talking about like mapping it to the terrain, like that provides a bit more clarity to it. Like it is literally on the hill in between both parts of the park.
Nice work on that. That's decent. That looks awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah, for sure. So that's like it's so funny
that's
because
the out and back.
Like, yeah.
It's weird.
So like there's a launch before the dive loop and then a launch after the dive loop to get it like give it enough speed to get back up the hill. Yeah,
it's gonna be a new helix, boys.
I'm just gonna go to the POV.
Yeah.
That drop looks mint.
That's gonna be there's gonna be a good few moments in there that are
the views of the valley
really,
is
really memorable.
This is the start. Boom. Great track work, man. That's awesome. Apart from that random support.
Yeah. So apparently there are some points in the plans that don't show any footers randomly. So whether that's to incorporate some thematic kind of building or something that would hide footers in the plans, I'm not sure. But he didn't put footers in the plans on certain parts of this layout just to reflect that. Like on this stall, like there's no footers.
That's really good work. It looks awesome.
Is that turning you on, Luke?
Yeah, I like it. It's mega.
Yeah, if only if it was Mark that was making it, right, Emma?
Oh, there it is.
The fact it goes over the fucking escalator is just ridiculous.
So yeah, there we go.
That's exciting.
But yeah, that's gonna
big
be
news because that's gonna be big for that park. Super Nintendo World, and now that fuck.
Yeah, it's just like I think.
Where did they find the space?
I think Hollywood is amongst the maybe the park that's like lesser regarded in of all of the major Universal parks.
Yeah,
and then like to see them get Super Mario World and then Super Nintendo World, sorry, and then this shows that they have a lot of plans for just park improvement for this place, and it's good to see. They have the Water World show there as well, which they have had for a while.
Yeah,
and I think a lot more people are going to want to go to that.
Absolutely, that's going to make me want to go more. The fact that ride's there, if that's what it's going to be like, can't wait for that.
Joe said, "Did you save the link for later?"
I did. I have.
Rubbing his thighs under the desk. You can tell.
So next up, we have Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Incognito.
VPN, let's go.
Six Flags Magic Mountain of just getting some solar panels, which is pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
I've got no energy. So yeah, like they are turning their whole car park into like a solar panel farm, which is pretty much what every theme park should be doing. Looking to do, because obviously it's a massive investment, but I'm sure there'll be so many grants that you could get, and surely there'd be ways of funding it, not just wholly in the parks part. But you've got it's going to be a 30-acre parking lot. So the solar panels will generate enough power to offset 100% of the park's energy usage and power all 20 roller coasters and other rides year round.
Cool.
That's insane to me,
That's
given how big that park is.
Yeah.
And to power 20 coasters, that's fucking crazy.
I think where it is in the world. Though.
Awesome if they can pull it off.
That's a big old solar panel.
It wouldn't work in the UK, would it? Let's be honest.
No.
It might do like.
But even run Octonauts off ours if they change. Put solar panels everywhere at towers, you wouldn't run Octonauts.
But yeah, I just thought it was really cool. And
it is cool.
It's just something that if you've got. You think about the size of a car park in a lot of these places, especially in America.
Yeah,
like they're just vast, and it's like, why not do something like that?
It's nice to see them taking the initiative to do something like that. Yeah,
especially in a region of the country where like their summers are harsh. Like the amount of
it makes sense.
Like up in the middle of California where it's just a lot of desert climate.
Yeah.
Like all they get is sun during the summer.
Yep.
So Magic Mountain is a perfect place to try that.
Yeah. So there we go. So last one on, we have this that was from Park Scares. Splash Lagoon is being hinted. Well, this is what Portland's Park have been hinting at for their new water ride. We knew about this like a year ago because they started putting fences up about a new water ride coming, and I believe their flat ride, I can't remember what it was now, but it was like a little kiddie flat ride in the Lost Kingdom area of the park had been removed. And I think you were saying, Emma, you was wondering whether this is going to be the same as what Drayton have just had for.
When I see Mini Log Flume, I feel that.
Yeah, I think there's only like one version, right? Like that's going to fit in to a tiny space
now. Like some massive chap-ass thing being built.
It's not. The space they have. It's going to be. It's going to be.
Yeah, because they've already got like a Log Flume, albeit like a traveling one. So it's cute to have like a little one for the kids because they're cool.
Yeah. I just realised that this is at the bottom of the, you know where it says where it's from. It says 28th of 06/2003 from Earth.
Yeah, they all say that now, unless you've put a specific place in.
Does it? Is that really? I've only just realised that.
I've noticed on a lot of people's, unless you do it in your settings, it specifically
start putting Mars just to freak Elon out a bit. Sent from Mars.
Is it an iPhone thing?
Maybe. I'm going to have a look. I've seen it on a few people.
It just doesn't say anything unless it says that.
Yeah.
No, I have seen it on mine, so it might just be an iPhone thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you actually like click on the tweet, and then it says from Earth.
That's what I've done. Didn't say it,
which is funny.
But anyway, you don't have an iPhone.
We're all children of Earth, really.
It's because I have taste.
Oh well, here he goes again. Wind your neck in, Sean. He's off.
We all know that I don't want my neck in.
The Mars rover Curiosity does have a Twitter account. Fair. Did not know that. That's great. Yeah, it's going to be like Drayton's. So, I hope it does well for them. Just something extra to do in that well-themed area, isn't it?
Yeah. There we go. That's all the news we've got. So let's go on to the main topic.
Main topics.
The main topic
fastest we've ever gotten through the news before.
No.
Yeah.
Go team.
Okay, no, has to be.
Yeah. So
10 minutes of bullshit and half an hour of news. We've done well here.
I know. And there's 2 Mikhails today as well. Like,
There's 2
Mikhails. Three. There's been 3 Mikhails. This guy's turned to Loki.
But yeah, so the main topic obviously is theme park burnout, and this has got like different type of meanings. So generally though, it's can you have enough of one theme park or just coasters, just doing too many coasters in one go? Because I see this quite a lot sometimes. I have anyway. That I've experienced it when I've gone on a big trip. So last year we went to Orlando and we did obviously all the Orlando parks, including Tampa Bay. So doing Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, and then we went to Europa Park, and I just didn't feel like Europa Park had the best experience of it, because I'd just gone to Orlando and just did all that. Did Halloween Horror Nights, and I come away going, I really liked the park, but it just didn't have the same impact that a lot of people were telling me it was going to have on me. So me and Jay kind of put that down to the fact that we've just maybe burnt ourselves out on theme parks.
Yeah, quite
at
possibly.
That point,
I mean,
at that
how
point
many
did
you do?
Yeah, we'd had a month of it, and also because of Halloween Horror Nights, we'd also been obviously doing all these scare attractions and really immersive stuff. And yeah, I think that's it really. And also, I think it's you see it a lot from I saw James, who's not in tonight, but he was making the comparison of when you see like these Disney vloggers and Universal vloggers, and they're just pointing out all these like little irks that they've got with the park and things that us going to a Disney or Universal park, we would never see that because our eyes are getting drawn elsewhere. So I don't know. I just thought it might be a cool topic of conversation.
I think for me, when you think of theme park burnout, I think the way I look at it would be, I gave this example earlier. For example, when you have a Merlin pass or you have a season pass for a park, you obviously utilize it. You go all the time. So sometimes I get to a point, not just with Merlin parks, but let's just say Alton Towers, for example, where I might go 3 times in 1 month, 3 times the next month, 4 times. And it gets to the point, it's not that I don't enjoy towers. I just get to the point where I go, okay, I've done it now, and I've a little bit done it to death. So I'm going to step away from towers for maybe a month or 2 months, go and explore new things. And then you find yourself getting excited to go back to towers, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So I think you can get burned out from a park, not because it's a shit park or anything like that, but you know, when you get used to something, and I suppose that's more from an enthusiast point of view because we visit parks all the time, it does you well to miss it, because otherwise you just find yourself do the same thing every time you go, or you might not necessarily do any rides when you go. You might just go for a mooch, something to eat. And then, so I like to step away from something. I've not been to towers. I went to Mardi Gras. Before that, I think I'd been once this year because I was so used to it. And I was like, I'm going to go do some other stuff. And then I really want to go back now because I'm like, okay, I've taken the time to miss it. I'm over it. I'm hyped to go back and get on some of my favorite coasters that I've ever done. Oblivion.
Yeah.
So I think that's the way I look at it anyway. Like, it's possible to do it. It's not shitting on a park in any way.
No, not at all.
That's kind of similar to in one sense of the word, like how I felt. So obviously I haven't at any point in my life lived really close to Cedar Point. But it has been one of those parks that not only myself, but obviously enthusiasts that don't live in the US, like it is like the Mecca for like that we've all like sort of grown up wanting to go to at some point in our lives. And like having gotten the opportunity to go multiple times now, and having gone in 2019, I spent 3 days there at the end of my 3-week trip in 2019, and literally did everything that you could do there. Like one day we had Fast Lane Plus, so we just got as many rides in as possible. The next day we had an afternoon just dedicated just to the water rides there, and then hanging out on the beach on Lake Erie and stuff. And then the third day was just doing like whatever else was there, all the flat rides, the Cedar Point nights, the little event that they had on the beach in the evening, getting re-rides, night rides, etc., etc. And at the end of it, I was kind of just like, I love this place, but I don't feel the need to come back here for a few years.
You've got everything you wanted
the
from
park.
it.
Like I've done we did everything in the park to where we were satisfied. Well, I was satisfied with everything that the park has to offer. There's not anything else there that I feel like I missed out on. So like it's only just been like the last, I suppose, year or so, or like just now that I'm feeling like, I could do with another trip to Cedar Point. And even then, I don't feel myself wanting to rush back to it. But like for a solid like 3 or 4 years, I've been like, I just do not need to even think about going to Cedar Point for a while. So you can even get it with like places that places that you don't live close to, or places that you haven't been to like every year and stuff. Like if there's just somewhere that you really wanted to go, and then you end up going and doing it as much as you foresaw yourself doing it.
I think that's how that's the place I got to with Orlando. I've done that now. Like I did it in 2019, me and Joe did, and we did it last year as well. And I've just got at the end of it, I was kind of like, I love this place, but I don't feel the need to come back for quite a few years now, because there's so many more places I want to go visit. And I've just kind of, after a while, when you start getting like a little bit, you've been walking miles at the end of a holiday, you kind of like to start getting a bit annoyed by everything, and then you start seeing the little bits that you don't usually notice. And again, going back to Europa Park, everyone goes on about how like world class that place is, and it is great. It's a lovely place, but I mean, it has like a graffiti problem. There's stickers everywhere in the queue line, just like the parks in the UK. The amount of vinyl, I just wasn't expecting, like going from Disney and Universal and then going to Europa, and then everything's vinyl. This got some amazing facades, but there's just there's peeling vinyl ripped and stuff everywhere. And I was just like, and that got me thinking. I was like, are people who are coming to Europa with like kind of fresh eyes not noticing these little bits because they're getting distracted from that bit? And there's nothing wrong with that. But then it just makes me think, well, what does it mean when you're going to your local park every other week, and then you're just like ripping it apart on Twitter all the time? There's a lot of like, for example, like Pleasure Beach seem to always get it from their own fans, from their super fans, and I'm like, to be honest, I just like going to Pleasure Beach and chilling, and
same.
It's a great time. And people go with their families, and it is an expensive day out. It has got its faults and stuff, and they definitely do need to bring back, for example, like non-rider pass. I think that would be a massive thing that they need to do. But on the whole, like, I think Pleasure Beach is looking in such a nice state, the nicer it ever has, in my opinion.
I agree.
That it's not that bad. This is maybe if you're just sick of it, stop going so often, And
take a break.
Yeah, you find that, like you said, especially when, like you were saying, you did a big trip and then you went to Europa and stuff. I find when you might not have been 100% in the mood because you were tired and you're a bit wiped out from a trip. I find that things tend to like irk you more when you're not in the mood, if that makes sense. When I've been to places sometimes and I've tagged along and I've been knackered, I've been out the night before, or had a busy week. And you do tend to notice when you're not 100% in the frame of like, I'm going to a new park, it's really exciting. Things do bother you that if you went in there solely to go to Europa Park, you'd look past that because that's amazing, that's amazing, that's amazing. But like you said, when you're not in the right frame of mind, you could be like, oh God, look at that. And then that kind of puts you in the perspective, like you said, that you weren't wowed by Europa Park because you noticed these things. Whereas if that was a fresh trip on its own, you probably wouldn't have even noticed.
I wouldn't have. I really don't think I would have. I think, like you say, I would have just been like so caught up with looking forward to getting on this coaster. And I think, for example, with the Orlando trip, I'd just gone on like Velocicoaster Iron Gwazi. I just got on all these like Cosmic Rewind. I just got all these amazing like world class experiences. I just don't think it was like a fair comparison.
Yeah.
Going straight from that, and also like I say, Halloween Horror Nights, like some of the best immersive attractions in the world, and then going and then directly, not meaning to compare it, but in your head you probably are comparing it. Because you're like, oh, what, sort of thing.
It's so funny with Florida, because I personally like with how often I've been to Florida recently, and I might be going back this November. I don't feel that about Florida for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just I just enjoy it that much. I just enjoy Universal like that much. But yeah, like where I could completely understand you or anybody else feeling that way about just the Orlando parks in general, because they are so overwhelming in a lot of ways. I personally just, I don't know. I could go back. Orlando is one of those like just weird situations where I could see myself going back to Orlando every year.
Yeah, I could.
Like
do you know what? It's so wild to me because
and not getting tired of it. I don't know.
I've just never had the excitement or the desire to go to Orlando. Like, I've never been to America anyway, but I find it strange because obviously I know you've got things like Velocicoaster and you know there's incredible rides there.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is, but I just don't have the desire to go. I've got 1,000 other places that I'd rather go over, like going to Florida. And I think the only reason I probably would ever go is because I've got kids and I know that they'd love it. I don't know. I just don't get the hype. And I know that's hard to say when you've never been, because I might go and be like, okay, it's fucking incredible. I've just never had the desire to go. It's so strange to me. I'd rather go 1,000 other places.
Yeah, I was super excited to go to Florida, but it's quite an overwhelming place to go to. And like when we go, we usually go for quite a long time as well, because we want to pace it out. So we go for like last time we was there for nearly 3 weeks. Do you know what I mean? Like, but by in 3 weeks, like you are done with it. You're done with the heat. You're done with the people. So many people around you. You're done with like the epic. You're done with the epic walk from the entrance to even getting to your first coaster. Yeah. And then having to walk back, and then like I think you can go for too long. But like I say, I love the place. I absolutely love it. When I go there, I'm always excited. But I think you're right. You'd probably go there and you'd enjoy it more than you realise.
Yeah, I think it's just as well because it is. I mean, whenever I priced it, everybody knows it's an expensive place to go on holiday.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
As well. And I don't know. Maybe it's like from a parent point of view, it's like there's so many better places that I can go for a better price.
Yeah, it's just the price is like it prices.
It's huge. It's huge.
It prices me out 1,000,000%. I can't go there.
Prices so many people out, and
when I'm paying for myself and 2 kids, it's like,
yeah,
oh god, it's going to cost me fucking thousands, and I'm like, I'd rather go somewhere else.
But you also feel like even if you can like save up so much money, like it also makes you feel like guilty in a way, because you're just like, Jesus, like it's a lot of money just to spend.
It's a lot of money, and I just feel like I could do many better things with that money than. I mean, it's not even. I mean, the price of the holiday alone, and then your spends on top. When I've priced it up so many times in the past because my Finley is obsessed with Jurassic Park and he's dying to get on Velocicoaster, and Harry Potter and all that shit. I'd love to take them, but I price it up and I just go, no, I'm just not doing it. Yeah. I think that probably plays a part in me just thinking I don't want to go, but I think one day I'll go, but I just don't really have.
What surprised me in Florida,
I'm not going anywhere.
Orlando is like we stayed near Universal, yet we went to Disney more. Now, obviously, because there's more Disney parks, when you first go to Orlando, you want to try and get everything in, right?
Yeah.
But I really fucking enjoyed Disney. I was blown away by everything at Disney, like the shows, the rides, the theming, the food, the entertainment, the whole vibe of it. Just, I'm going back for that. That's why I'm going back.
I've never been to a Disney park, and I don't want to go to one.
Well, I went to
I'm
Disneyland
aware
Paris.
I sound like a miserable bitch.
No,
when
no,
I say this,
yeah,
but I
no,
have no
no,
desire for Disney.
I think once
really.
I think once, like, I go to Efteling and I go to Phantasialand and I say categorically they are as good, if not better, than the Disney parks alone.
Yep.
Like they just are. Like
heavy agree.
Like especially Efteling feels like you're in an actual place. Whereas when I went back to Disney, the last time I went, especially like Magic Kingdom, I felt like it felt like more and this is going to annoy people, but obviously we all like different things, don't we?
Yeah.
And we're allowed to like different things, but I just felt like compared to like Efteling, it felt like a fake version of what Efteling was, and Efteling just felt so kind of like you was in the nature, and it was.
Well, I mean, Magic Kingdom is based on areas in the world, so that could have part of it. Whereas Efteling is one of them places in the world. So
I've taken the kids to Efteling in August, and I am beyond hyped. And I just know, it's so difficult when I tell the kids to go to Efteling, and I try to explain it. It's such a difficult place to explain because how do you explain, what's going on at Efteling? It's madness to look at, but.
Yeah,
like I am well hyped to go there. I've never been hyped to go to Disneyland Paris. I couldn't give a fuck if I'm honest. Like the only reason I would go, like I said, is because I'd want to take my kids. But...
let's move away from Disney because we're just talking about.
Disney. I mean, to pivot off of that, like I was gonna mention, like just use Disney to go into another point of just how Epcot specifically, how Disney uses Epcot to introduce different events throughout the year.
I love Epcot.
Epcot.
I just want to say that
Epcot. Yeah, I really want to go back there because I've never seen World Showcase, but I've been to Epcot before, but not been to World Showcase yet. But yeah, like it seems to me that Epcot looks completely different at every like it has so many events going on throughout the year. It like almost to the point where you forget what base level Epcot even. Well, I mean, it's been going through construction for however many years now, but like you forget what like base like normal Epcot actually looks like because they've got food and wine festival going on. They've got
Flower and Garden,
flower and gardens. They've got different things going on all the time, and then obviously like they do different things around like World Showcase and everything. And it goes into, I was gonna use that to go into something Jack said in the chat, saying this is what's great about various events that happen in parks. Like for example, Mardi Gras and then all of Drayton's events as well. It keeps the parks fresh. It gives you new reasons to keep going to check out what's new, and it gives the parks different temporary identities to where they just look and feel different while you're there. If it's done well enough, it can almost feel like you're going to different parks every time.
Yeah, it's a whole new vibe, isn't it? Like,
yeah. I like I say, I really enjoy Epcot. I think it doesn't fit. It's like a breath of fresh air sometimes when I'm feeling a bit over Disneyed on the trips where I'm like, go there and it's just more of a chill atmosphere. It feels like more like you're at a food festival, or I don't know. It's just especially the food and wine was my favorite thing I've been to at Epcot because we didn't do that last time. Yeah, like I said, I do like Orlando, but I just think it's very. I think Harry said as well. He's because obviously they went recently, didn't they? And he was saying he just felt a little bit let down by it. So again, does that come back to if you experience one thing that you liked more before another thing? Does it? I don't know. Does it kind of ruin the next thing? For example,
another example.
I was going to say, if you do multiple parks in one trip, is that going to ruin certain things for you? For example, if you did Phantasialand for the very first time, and then you did a park such as Wallaby Belgium the day after. Wallaby Belgium's a really cool park. It's a decent park. Connor's a great coaster, but is the fact that you've just been from Phantasialand, which is one of the best themed places ever, going to then rather than doing Wallaby Belgium by itself.
It can make somewhere lose its sparkle. Like when you look at something which is on a level of Fantasyland, for example, where everything's just like Jesus fucking Christ, and then you go to somewhere like Wallaby Belgium, which isn't particularly heavily themed or anything like that. It's beautiful, but it's not on the level. I get that, because you could just kind of be like, oh, you know what I mean? And they can go, oh, I really enjoyed the way that looked at that part, but this park, it looks a bit shit. And it's like, you know, it's difficult, and it can ruin an experience, like you said earlier, and you shouldn't try and make the parks compete against each other, because every park's got their own identity, but you do.
Yeah. You do. There's no way around it. You're gonna do that, aren't you, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the drunk riders with their stumble event over at Energylandia. Like a lot of those guys at Buzz Bars, they were doing a whole extended trip after the stumble event at Energylandia in last July, and a lot of them, obviously, it's just the stumble event was just balls to the wall insanity for 2 days straight. And Energylandia is obviously the massive park that it is. Hyperion and Zadra are as world class as they are. They had a monumental 2 days there, and then followed it up with Wallaby Holland. So like they felt pretty much the exact same as what we're describing about Wallaby Holland, and then a lot of them were underwhelmed and disappointed by Untamed because they just hoard out Zadra for 2 days straight. And a lot of them say that if they could do that whole trip again, including the stumble, they probably would have put the stumble at the end of the trip.
So because they would have been absolutely. After that Energylandia, I saw the videos from that. Like they were going hard on that.
Oh, mate, that's putting it politely.
Yeah.
They fucking went batshit crazy.
Yeah. And then they had to go and travel all over the place. Like, that's mad.
Yeah, there were a lot of, I'll say, logistical complexities.
What I like about
to the rest of that trip.
What I like about Theme Park Burnout, though, is what Emma touched on before, where you have a break and then you get excited again to go back. So these parks that you feel like didn't live up to your expectations for whatever reason, you always sit there at the end of the day, like just thinking about, like, I want to go back to them and experience them. And then that, in a way, though, it's a bit of a silver lining, because you will go back and experience them without the fucking 500 parks or whatever you did beforehand. And then you will probably appreciate it for what it is. I have that a lot with a lot of parks where I like, for example, I've been back to Port Ventura for a while, but I can't wait to go back now. I'm so excited to go back. But yeah, I do like that feeling when you've not been to Towers for ages, like the night before, it proper kicks and it feels great. But I would just say, if you're going to go to a park and you're going to go constantly, don't try and, like, I know it's easier said than done, but don't try and overthink what you're doing. You know, if you've been to a park a million times, if you've ridden Nemesis a million times, go and ride Air a million times, go and ride Oblivion a million times. Like, mix it up. Don't do the same shit over and over again. And that will help. And try and do different things, like do the dungeons, like, you know, go on Gangster Granny. Like, we always mix it up when we go to Towers all the time. I never do the same trip. Like, even if I go to Blackpool, like, I'll spend all day on the dark rides. I'll spend all day on the coasters. You know, you can do that. That's a good thing about our UK parks. With parks that you go to often, it's easy to follow the pattern of the way you do things. You know, because everybody has their ideal way to do the coasters to get more in. And you do find yourself every single time going, we'll go to 13, we'll go to Rita, we'll go to Wickerman, we'll go to Nemesis, we'll go to, you know what I mean? And it gets boring, you know. So, like you just said, next time, go the other way around. Go and do those rides that you've never done before because you thought, oh, they're a bit shit. You'll probably really enjoy them, you know, because it's fresh. It's something completely new. I agree. And try and eat at different places as well. Like, you know, when you go to a park, if you've been to the same restaurant, like, I'm a sucker for woodcutters. I did like it. And I always went there. I thought it was better life when you got a decent meal. You can have a pint as well. And there's not many places you can get a pint at Tower. So that was a nice place to go and chill. But like, I've started going different places when I go there. Like I'll get some chicken, just buy Oblivion, go and sit down by the drop. It's great. And that was something that I never normally do. So just try and mix up your day a bit, and if you see something that pisses you off, just think, right, if that's annoyed me, why has it annoyed me? Right. And I'm looking at something that is pissing me off because, let's say, for example, graffiti in a queue line in Oblivion or something like that. You think, oh, that's shit. Right. Why is it there? Do they know about it? Like, they probably do know about it. Is it going to get cleaned overnight? Probably. So just move on. Like, it's one of them things where you can't run the park. You're not on Planet Coaster, guys. Like, you can't run the park. You can't tell them what to do, how to do it. They will do it, and they know best. So just go there and enjoy what they're offering on that day.
Yeah, Matt said in the chat as well about, like, it's easy to fall into, as an enthusiast, you have your friendship group and you go to a park with the same people.
Yeah.
Go with another group of friends. Go with someone who's never been before. Go on your own. Going to your park on your own is underrated, man, because wait for no one.
Very.
Go with like non-enthusiast friends, and then you'll see it through their eyes. Yeah, you'll see it through their eyes. You won't stand there just talking about, like, what you think they should do, what's this doing at this and that. I think sometimes you can fall into that trap, and I think again that comes down to theme park burnout. Is go into a certain park and then just noticing all these things and going, this place is going downhill. It's like, well, is it going downhill, or is it that you're just noticing things that you didn't notice before because your eyes not on Oblivion's drop? It's now on what's in front of you and everything else. Like, you look
in the drops,
more.
Now you're looking at the gates. You're like,
and no park is perfect. I mean, I remember going to Phantasialand and noticing and going, I didn't realize like how kind of tacky, like, Taron. I love Taron. It's like my number one. But I started noticing like how tacky everything looked and like it needed like a fresh repaint. And I was starting to notice things like that. And I was like, didn't notice that the first time I come.
That just goes part and parcel of being an enthusiast. Though we're so overly critical about things because you want to talk about the things that you can't really talk about it with non-enthusiast friends because they ain't got a fucking clue what you're talking about. But you do find yourself probably laying into something that doesn't really matter, but because as an enthusiast you go, oh well, they could do that and look at the state of that. You could just go with a non-enthusiast friend. They ain't looking at the graffiti, they're looking at how wicked the Smiler looks from off-ride because they've never rode it before and they're really excited. They're looking at Olivia's drop and shit in their pants at the end of the day. Like, mix it up.
Yeah. So that goes into what I was going to say about the online component of what we're calling theme park burnout then. And spending so much time consuming theme park content in the form of YouTube videos, of vlogs, and
just posts on Twitter,
like Reddit posts, everything everything down to the conversations and the comments on Twitter and Discord and everything else, everything that we consume to do with theme parks on the internet. It can I mean, like in my own experience, it gets so overwhelming just in itself to where I feel the need to just plug out of it like every now and again. But then also more specific to the topic, like there's something to be said about not paying so much attention to what everyone else is saying about certain parks that you might be visiting, because there are certain parks that just get like topics on parks that get just rinsed, just like drilled into the ground, like on a daily basis. That it's just like if you've got parks trips coming up, if you're in the midst of a doing like a bunch of parks and stuff like that, and you've heard this, that, and the third about like certain rides or certain parks or certain lands, and like you almost feel like you have no choice but to see what you're about to see or see what you're seeing at this park through the lens of everyone else who is just rinsing out the same like 7 different topics about this park, like over and over again, whether or not they're bigging up a ride or they're just shitting all over a different ride or something like that, whether they're talking positively or negatively. I just think there's much more value than a lot of people care to admit in just like not, at the very least, taking everything that you read with a grain of salt, but just completely plugging out of like what you like seeing everything online. And if you wanted to go to all these parks, then go ahead and do it, but just like just see it through your own lens, and it keeps it fresh in that way. It kind of stops the dictatorship of what you should be paying attention to while you're there.
Yeah.
And then you feel much more free to do what you said, Luke. Just try different things.
Exactly.
Go on your own little explorations and stuff. And it kind of keeps the return value high in that sense.
Yeah. And
I think.
Imagine, like you just saying there, like completely disconnecting yourself from it. Imagine like going to Towers last year and then going back this year and not knowing what's going on. Fucking hell, you're right.
You good?
And then I tried so hard to hold it in. Sorry.
Fail. And then like just turning up, seeing Nemesis like ripped up. I mean, you have some idea of maybe what's going on because of TV and stuff like that. But like, if you weren't on Twitter, if you weren't on Facebook, a lot of people aren't. A lot of people that go to these parks aren't in that space. And you turn up and Subterra's opened. You've got Curse, and then you've got like Nemesis's there's new track being put down on Nemesis. There's this whole new theme going on. Like, I miss them days, man, of not knowing what's going on.
Shit, if you're excited about riding Nemesis again, though.
Yeah, I mean,
well, last time we was at Towers in the car park, there was a woman looking at the track with a mate, and they were like, "Oh, they must be building a new roller coaster. I don't know where it's going to go." And it was quite funny to listen to them because some people
see, exactly. So imagine
I was like biting my fist to not go over and go, "Well, actually,
no, well, actuallys were needed in that conversation. Just leave them to their own little thingy. It's like when I first went to Towers, I was so I dreamt about it, and it was on a school trip, and we were only there for a few hours, sort of thing, because it was rammed, and I only managed to do Oblivion the first time I went, and it was just getting lost in the area, not knowing where Forbidden Valley was, not knowing where Katanga Canyon was, and just having that feeling of a new park is so special. But you can get that back by just taking a little break and just doing something completely different that you've never done before at that park, and you go back. Definitely feel that. But I do feel like sometimes, Mikhail, you do need to take a break from all the shit that's online.
Oh God, I can't remember the last time I even paid attention to Twitter. Like, I used to be so into Twitter, man.
Yeah,
and that is just like toxic as hell now, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
I can't.
I barely post on there anymore.
Yeah.
I'll probably open it once a day just to have a little scoot through to see if I've missed anything that's like
not weird. The thing is right. The thing is right with Twitter. Like, it's like there are so many people just talking utter shite on there. there is there's the toxic arguments and whatever the fuck else. To a degree, you can curate who you follow, and you can mute people and you can block people and stuff like that. But even aside from muting out all of the bullshit that's on there and everything, like, I feel like there's something like I feel like with people who are just there to document their experience or showcase their own talents on there, whether like in whatever kind of capacity it might be. You still have to keep that to a certain. You still have to be like taking that in moderation, because like there's so much there that can make you feel like you should do something. Like there's so much there that makes you feel like I'm not going to enough parks. I'm not riding enough roller coasters. I'm not taking enough pictures. I'm not doing enough stuff on Adobe Creative Cloud. I'm not doing all of these things that I keep seeing over and over again that are really, really good. But you almost feel like you have to keep up with everything in whatever way that is.
Yeah.
So like even aside from all of the bullshit just on the internet, like you also have to keep your consumption of the good stuff to a a manageable and healthy level as well. And then like you go out, you have your experiences, you pick out like in terms of the things you want to do in the community, whether hobby wise or professionally, pick out the things that you actually genuinely love and enjoy, and the things that speak to you, and don't feel like you have to follow what the majority of other people might be doing and stuff, because it's easier than any that I really don't hear many people talking about this side of theme park content consumption a lot. It's really easy to get caught up in like the mill of, oh, I should do this, I should do this, I should do that, I should try that, I should like
at the end of the day,
because it's seemingly everybody else out on the internet is doing it.
Yeah, well, it's influencing. That's how YouTubers make the money. That's how they do it. The influence to go in and get sponsors. That's how the big guys do it. That's literally it. So it's and people trying to imitate that at a lower level with lower subscribers and lower following. It sometimes it just sounds like people are just sprouting shit from nowhere when all they're trying to do is just get views. Like
I do feel like this like. I don't know. I do feel like there's a lot of accounts that are just posting out like shock opinions for the hell of it, and I feel like that snowballs, and people start copying it, and people are like, "Well, that's working. That's getting me engagement."
It's a reaction, isn't it?
They just
don't
want
rise to the bullshit at the end of the day.
Yeah, if you just ignore it, like it won't work.
Literally.
So that's just what you do. Just ignore it. Because people don't need drama, and I don't need drama in my life. So.
I like this use of Twitter. I only open Twitter once a week to check if the podcast is going ahead.
Yeah, honestly.
Follow us at Chain Dogs. We only post once a week.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna just go through the comments.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, so let's just see what's going on in the comments.
You've had a good conversation in there.
Yeah, there's been loads of stuff going on.
As always.
Ben said, non-enthusiast. Why aren't towers roller coasters not that cool? Me? Well, you won't believe this.
Well, do I have a story to tell you?
Wow.
You heard the story about the balloon? Well,
yeah.
Look at that tree.
I do it all the time. I'm terrible.
Yeah, I'm just trying to read all the things before I put them up. So
make it more spicy. Don't read it before you press it.
Mark said, totally agree. We just took a couple of non-enthusiast friends to Blackpool. They loved it, and we did things we wouldn't normally do, like Rugrats.
There you go.
Rugrats. I always say Rugrats. I don't know why.
Rugrats.
No extra A.
Mikey said, I enjoyed taking my brother to parks, but he shit all over Pleasure Beach. Was fuming with him.
I'll have a word with him. Don't worry, Michael. I'll fuming with him.
Ben said, I saw someone write, your dad sells Avon graffiti on the line. It was the best thing ever.
The best queue line for graffiti is Rita's. I have found some absolute gold in like. I think a personal favourite was somebody had drawn a stick woman with massive boobs, and in giant letters in black marker just wrote Tracy Fat Tits. It was incredible. It made my day. Honest to God, some of the stuff people write is genius. I mean, they shouldn't write it, but it's entertaining sometimes.
Tracy Fat Tits. Oh, brilliant.
It's brilliant. I think it's still there. I reckon the staff looked at it and went, "That's gold. We'll leave."
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a keeper.
1,000% they did.
Ben said also going with Kira to Towers with a purpose in our day to make staff laugh. I found going with random purpose adds spice to the day. It's funny that we was watching. Me and Joe was watching it.
Where's Kira in the chat?
They're Kira's not in the chat. Ben is.
No, I said, where's Kira in the chat? She's not here.
I think she was there earlier.
Yeah.
How dare you leave us?
How dare you?
Wow. Once a chatter, now a lurker.
Yeah, go and watch Ben's vlog with Kira.
Yeah, do,
because it's brilliant.
There's a bit where they're talking to all I know it's Kieran from the dungeons, and it's like the funniest interaction ever. That was like a proper bit. It was so good. Yeah, so that's about as much as I can catch up on at this time. And also Ben, Ben's getting all love today. Efteling is run by a foundation which has a mission statement of bringing fairy tales to life. All the money it makes go back into the park. I just love that it has a purpose beyond making money. Yeah, it is. It's like a wildlife foundation as well. Like they really like have to make sure they look after that. You know, it's a big park, a nature reserve sort of thing. So they put it all back in. It's basically a charity, really. So it's got a purpose. It's not just a money making thing. Everything goes back right into it.
Lynn and Maki do something similar with a children's foundation.
Yeah, they do.
I think it is.
Yeah,
which I think is super cool. It's basically a non-profit organization.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I think that's about it. I'm knackered.
I'll about do it.
We're good. So we'll be back next week. Hopefully I'll be more awake and license to get on with stuff.
Yeah, solar panels, cool. Move on.
Yeah, must be solar panels. Yeah.
I'm struggling to get excited about anything right now. It's really it's horrible. All right. So anyone got anything they want to like promote, push, or anything like
that? No.
No, all good.
No, all good.
All good.
All right. We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.